Greetings once again, my people. It's been a pleasure walking through this journey, but we will be coming up with many, many other things. I'm just doing a summary of whatever values that we've been able to cover since we started this journey of building a value system for ourselves and for everything that we engage in family, at workplace, in your business, in your institution, in your organization, and basically just reminding ourselves what it entails, what is it that we need to do, where are we, being able just to evaluate and look into it. So far we've been able to cover 8 values that we can be able to begin to work on. It's not only that we have 8 in existence, but these are the very most basic ones. So we will be doing another one later on. But I just want to run down a quick summary of the 8 that we've been able to do, and you can go and check in detail for each one of them. So my name is Catherine Eric, and I'm a change agent, as you know, and I'm coming to you from Change Empire Center, where we are intentionally raising the future generations holistically so that we can have a better society for all of us. We can build formidable community and very strong families so that we will be able to forge ahead, and we are sure that the journey ahead is gonna be good because it has to be better. The word of God says in Proverbs 4:18, the path of the just is like a shining light that shines brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. So we are doing this so that our tomorrow will be better. We are doing this so that we can be able to salvage and recover and maybe bounce back from wherever it is that we have been sinking, where the rain has been beating us, where we have broken the edge, where we have not done very, very well. Even in exam we get rating, isn't it? And nobody scores 100%, yeah? So basically, that's what we've been doing. So we began this journey. We've been able to cover the value system that we call honor. We've been able to cover integrity. We've been able to cover diligence. We've been able to talk about kindness. We've been able to talk about giving. We've been able to talk about integrity. We've been able to talk about compassion. We've been able to talk about obedience. You see, all those values, we've been talking about them. If you check down, you'll be able just to hear, and they are not long. I'm intentionally not making the videos to be very long. There's more to talk about each value, but these are just the basics, and just to jumpstart, as you know, and provoke our thought process, and to be able to just trigger something in our lives and in our thought process, in our minds, that we can be able to think about, analyze, pause, look around, and see, by the way, where am I? And the reason why we are doing this is just because if we have to tell ourselves the truth, there are places where we are that we are asking ourselves, how did we get here? And it's because that they are just basic moral value systems that govern human nature that we have not been paying attention to. And while we are also doing this, everything in life requires accountability. So it's also an avenue for us to be able to be accountable with ourselves, with each other, and just go back to the drawing board and be able to make amends where we need to make amends, or maybe introduce what we have not been practicing. And now, being able just to operate within these value systems, because they are not things that are coming as something that is very new, or we are coming up with something that has never been done, but they are things that have been there, but for one reason or the other, or the way life is being very busy and very uh, having us to be engaged most of the time. So even at Change Empire Center, by the way, let me just mention it here, while we are saying we are intentionally raising the future generations, we also have classes whereby we gather the children. We know you parents, you might be busy, engaged in doing one thing or the other, or maybe you are a guardian, but you are a guardian by proxy. Maybe you are not all the time having that time with the child, to be able just to walk them through, to make them understand, and we are doing this because one thing that I am very definite of, and I really believe, that for all these value systems that we are talking about that make us who we are, they are more effective when we are able to bring them in our lives from a very young age. And as I mentioned, anything that you've been brought up doing, when you are grown up, it is part of you. You don't really struggle to be able to do it. It just comes out because it is a lifestyle. You are brought up doing it, you have been practicing it. So there are things that will help us to be able to train ourselves and to inculcate discipline. What makes us function better, operate better, all those things that have been a challenge, so that we are able to move forward and make ourselves a better people. And as I was just asking us, like in the value obedience, I was just talking to majority of us, and I'm asking, please, can we be able to own our nation? Can we be able to own our communities? Can we be able to own our homes? Can we own our families? Can we value what we have? These children are a heritage from the Lord. He has given unto us, we are just custodians. But it is our responsibility to ensure that they are at their best optimal performance. They are at their best optimal functionality. They are at their best optimal mentally. They are at their best optimal physically. They are at their best optimal socially. They are at their best optimal even in their academics and everything that they do and how they engage in. And all these things, at the end of the day, they will make our society a better place because we are raising the future. And if we don't intentionally do it, we might not just have a future. We might not have what we will be proud of. We might not have anybody we will leave our legacy to, who we will leave our heritage to, who we will leave our inheritance to. After all is said and done, there has to be a transition, there has to be a passing on of the baton. There has to be people that are responsible enough, people that understand that, hey, wherever we are, people who have gone ahead have been able to pay the price so that I am who I am, you know. And I was just saying, I wish, it is my desire that as much as we are very busy and we are basically everybody beginning to mind their own business, but there is something that we should be able to see how we can be able to work with it. Like you see, the community, having a community like that, I think it is something that can really be helpful because it will keep us on toes and in touch in terms of accountability, in terms of how we can be able to function, in terms of how we can be able to be better. There's a Sunday, Upper Sunday, I was coming from church, and when I was walking down to the gate, just like 5 minutes away, I met a group of around 12 years. They were around 12. If there was anyone that was very old in that team, not more than 14, just by the look of things. And it really got me thinking. And I felt so much pain as a parent because at their age, I knew these ones are very young. They are just maybe waiting. Then maybe next year they go to is it they're calling it grade 9 or 10, or I think 10 or 11, something like that. And they were very ragged. They looked like people who have not showered, I don't know for how many days. They were coming from homes, definitely. I could tell. But they were very unkempt. And what caught my attention is the way they were, both male and female, very careless beside the road, idling. They were sitting even on the tarmac, and they were in front of a shop that was selling wines and spirits. And some of them did not look to me like they were very sober. Unfortunately, because we have decided and we have shown them that nobody can question them unless it is apparent. So maybe they might have come from wherever and they have crossed to another place where they feel that there is nobody who will see them maybe as a parent figure or as their guardian wherever they are coming. So they might have come from a different location to a different location, and they were now misbehaving. And it caught my heart, like so pained, because I was like, at their age, they are supposed to be relating, maybe playing football, playing those kalongolongo kati and all those, and maybe association in terms of what are we discussing? Are we discussing a subject that we have a challenge and another person is doing well in it? But you see, they were 100% idling, sitting on the tarmac. When the vehicle passes, they just turn like this. And wherever they were sitting was somewhere people were busy buying. You see this liquor they put in plastic cups, very bad ones. I was like, God, this is happening in our nation before our very eyes. If these children, you give them just 1 more year, the parent will not even have a child. But because we don't want that community collective responsibility of training up children, taking responsibility, correcting, rebuking, and even disciplining, because they know nobody is supposed to question them. If you ask them, you are talking to this kind of age, and they are looking at you from toe to head, and their body language is communicating. I mean, what is your business? What is your business? And these are the people that we want to, when we are now worked up, we have used our energy, we don't have that much energy to run around. Tell me, will they be able to take care of, even if it is something you have as a heritage or an inheritance? Or maybe you've built wealth and all those things. So they really caught me thinking that what we do as grown ups is giving them the authority to behave like that. Because when we cannot allow even a neighbor to highlight that there is something wrong, us who are grown ups, who are the custodians, who these children come from the house, when you hear someone is even trying to highlight something that needs to be corrected, we normally go on a defensive. We don't want to talk about it. We even block. Or maybe a teacher calls a parent and highlights that there is this and this character trait that I'm seeing. Most of the time, we defend, we go on the defensive when they are there. So there is no moral authority for anybody else to be able to call them to order. And because the world has become wicked, there is someone somewhere who will not care as long as they are making money. They will give them substance, and with time, they become addicts at a very young age. With time, they become unmanageable, and you see their age, meaning they have a long way to go. So, such a child, when they are going to like boarding schools, they will not be able to be manageable. They will not be able to want to be put in check. They will not obey the rules. They will not be disciplined. They are the ones that will come up in arms and even arrange an organization, a team up where they can now do something that is very nasty, that will drain or even destroy the learning institution, or sometimes even harm their lives, you know. So these are things that we really need to teach. That's why I'm saying we have to start it from home. Charity begins from home. Let us begin to take time. Just have a value system. Discuss with them and let the discussion be collective. And this is the good bit. Let them set their own in punishment when they break or violate the consequences. Let them met it out by themselves. Let them be part of the journey. Let them understand the reason why these things have to be done is because of their own good. Nobody is trying to punish them. Nobody is hating on them. But let us stop this thing of saying that I suffered so much, I was beaten so much, I was disciplined so much. I do not want my child to go through it. It is a wrong attitude. And I have seen it destroy so many young lives because nobody wants to discipline. Nobody wants to correct or even to rebuke. But if you begin to just have the value system operating, when you two people decide that you want to come together and be husband and wife and you want to have a family, can these children come and find that you have a value system? Can they come into the system and know in this house things are done like this? When you find workers now who are you are onboarding, who will be like house helps, who will be like your drivers, who will be like gardeners, people that you're working with, they become part of your family. These people need to be coming in and understanding from day one. Here, this is what happens. This is how we run the show. This is why things are done like this per adventure. One of this is not done like this. These are the consequences, and this is the punishment that is meted. There's nothing wrong with it. It is not punishing, it is not toxicity, it is not, it is just ensuring that there is order. It is ensuring that we are bringing up people of a sound mind, people who understand that life does not operate in a vacuum, people who understand that life is a process, people who understand the value of being who they are and where they are. Because I believe even you to pay that much school fees, you are not picking it on the road. Definitely, you are working hard to make them go to a better school, to make them dress well, but you are not dressing them well because you suffered. You want them to have the good things of life, but good things of life is not in the absence of discipline. It is not in the absence of upright moral character. It is not in the absence of these things. You know, it is part of it. And not even being part, it is the foundation. It is the foundation that makes things and life to be better. I don't know if you understand the pain of having labored as a parent, laboring over the years, and suddenly you have problematic children with things that you should have taken care of, things that they might have been correct. I have read of many stories of people committing suicide, and the last note they leave behind, they say, if you told me this, I will not have ended up like this. They turn around and they blame you, the parent, that if you would have corrected them, if you would have done ABCD, maybe they would have just turned out better. Yeah. So we can do our part and let God do the rest. you know. And peradventure something has gone wrong, we can always look for solution. We can always work together. We can walk together. We can seek for the help. We can call upon the name of the Lord. We can ask for divine intervention, but we cannot ask it in the absence of us not having done what we are supposed to do. When we do our part, then we hold God accountable and per his word that I have done what I needed to do. Because sometimes you can do everything that you've done, but things don't go right. But do you give up? You can't. What do you do? Ephesians 6 says, after 6:18, it says, after you've done everything that you needed to do, stand. You see, you stand after you've done everything that you needed to do. And because God is a God of justice and God is God of mercy, there's a way he will be able to intervene and turn the tables around. Let us not be an enabler of bad behavior, bad character, immorality, moral decadence, because there are things when you do, you rob yourself of the moral integrity and the moral right to be able to correct them. If you're struggling with certain things as a guardian, as a parent, it is prudent maybe you don't do it as they watch. Because once they see that you are the one practicing, you are the one doing it, what moral authority will you have to correct them? If they know, nowadays the children are very smart. If they see that and they know that you are the mother or you are the father and you practice infidelity, immorality, they hear your arguments, you know, spanning from phone to I don't know to what. Do you think that they will value that thing we call family? Do you think when they grow up they will even have respect for relationship? When they hear us speak like some vulgar languages and all those, there's no way they will see something different and practice a different thing. There is no way I will dress almost naked and I will want to call my children to order. But when they don't see it in me, I will sit them down and be able to tell them, this thing you're doing, I don't like it. I have told you, stop it. I have no part in it. And they will know that you don't support it. But when you are the one that is a participant and even going to get it in the name of it is fashion, it is what, all these things, by the time they add up, there is something they do that turning the tables around becomes something that is very challenging. It becomes something that becomes stressful, hectic, depressive, and all those things. So we need to be able to involve them because they are very smart. They know, they understand, they ask questions. But you see, in our time, the difference is maybe you will be punished and you don't know why you're being punished. You will be maybe rebuked, but nobody is telling you the reason and the consequences. Like as people just used to be told, don't be near boys. And you're wondering, I mean, we have brothers and sisters, but nobody was doing direct intentional training and educating that this is what should be done, this is why we don't do, and the reason is if you continue, this is what will happen to you. But right now, young kids, they don't care. They talk about, we talk about sex education nowadays, but they have knowledge of these things, but have we cared to tell them that this thing is for a certain age? This is, yes, you are a female, you are a male. But for you to have relationship, it comes at a certain time because of ABCD. But we don't do that. I was shocked like one time, is it in 2017? Yeah. One time I was attending to my client, but the kids walked in and I heard she was asking the daughter if she saw the boyfriend, and she was 9 years. So that told me the kind of environment and conversations they have as a family, you know, beginning to trigger them on what is not the right time. They can have the basic information because knowledge is power, but also go an extra mile to be able to do the correct education that is holistic so that they know that you are this way, this is how you behave, this is how your system is wired, and all these things. As you come to this age, as you move to this one, as you move to this one, the reason why we are telling you to be careful, it's because with this comes, with this comes, because if you introduce when you're supposed to be concentrating on your education and all that, and you begin to introduce something like that, it interferes and the concentration level is taken away from what is supposed to be the focus at that particular age bracket at that particular time. But when they know the effect, when they know the consequences, when they know the reason why it is not the right time, it will come, it is not going anywhere. They behave in a way that is informative, you know. They have knowledge. They know when someone wants to take advantage of them. They know when something wants to go beyond their capacity. They are able to walk away from it. They can, and this kind of conversations create the friendship when they have in difficulty, when they hit a dead end. They can be able to come back because you have these conversations. So there's no a wall. They easily have a discussion. They easily come back and ask question at the right platform to the right person, and they get the right answers. But when we don't do that, they will go out, look for the answers in the wrong places. And me and you knows very well, when you go to seek for solution at the wrong place, what you meet. So what we are doing, we are just doing this journey as a way of safeguarding our heritage and making our community, our families, our society a better place for all of us. Let's be accountable. Let's teach them to be accountable. Let's teach them to be kind. Let them know the place of compassion, the place of giving, not I and myself holding everything. Let them know the place of integrity, why integrity is paramount, so that by the time they are going higher in life, they will be able to know the reason why have been given that space, that platform, why they are rising, and they will know what to do with their position, with their power, with their resources. They will know how to value people, they will know how to value investment, they will know how to value the price that people have paid, they will know how to follow the processes of life. And when you do that, you are able to hold dear whatever it is you have. You own it, you guard it, you safeguard, you watch over it because you have paid the price. Someone else has paid the price. Something else has been put in you, and there's a way. It gives you a certain mindset towards life, towards work, towards wealth. Everything is just inculcated together like this. It's not just operating in a and just operating for the sake of it. So this kind of value system is something that is very needful, like now, so that we can go back. I'm just thinking about it and I'm saying, okay, the way we normalize moral decadence, and we are supposed to be fruitful and to multiply, and yet the people who will take after us we don't really value character in terms of morality, in terms of fidelity. Are we going to have families? Are we going to have marriages by the way that are working? Me, I'm thinking outside the box. I'm just thinking because if we are the people who are normalizing moral decadence, whereby someone can be married but also doesn't see a problem of going and defiling the marital bed. And when it's discussion about it, it's like a normal thing. Yeah? You should just do it. When you get angry, you go out there, you leave your spouse, you engage another person who is not your spouse, and you are okay with it. And then any little thing we are not willing to discuss, we are not willing to solve it, everybody wants to carry their bag and to go. When we make it look like all that it is to life is money, wealth, fame, you know, you see, someone wants to be a celebrity for what? Fame. But behind the scene, what is the reality of life? I was seeing the video people are talking about a celebrity who has like millions of followers, but they wanted to commit suicide. So you ask yourself, if the fame, the kind of image they present, whatever it is they flaunt around, if it is so fulfilling, if it is something that is adding value, why would someone get to a point where they want to unlive themselves? So we have to teach them to know that these things they are seeing, they are not sometimes reality in life. So they will be living their life based on that particular standard, and when they cannot get there, they begin to be frustrated, and then they begin to sink into depression because they are living in utopia. Some of these things people parade are not realistic. There's another celebrity I was listening to, and she was talking about herself, and she was saying people see her every day looking all well packed up and all those things. What they didn't know, she's brand ambassador for so many companies. So one company is for shoe, another one is for dressing, another one is for hair, another one is for handbag, another one is for car. Your child knows very well they have to follow process, and that is the person they are looking up to. They will do anything that it is done in this earth for them to live that. Meanwhile, that person looks like they are living it all, but everything is free. Once they finish, they remove, they give back. It is only a few pieces they are given completely, but most of the time it's just they use it or maybe are paid. But if that is the standard that the generation is following and is setting up, someone is walking all around and it is a furnished apartment, and you are thinking every day that they have new houses every month. It is not realistic. So we are having to lose the young ones over nothing really, because when they go to the ground, they will realize these things are not what they see on social media. Even for all those people, they also have challenges. They have their limitations, they have their struggles. But guess what? Everybody paints what is the best of them. If you have a problem today, you will shower. You have clothes. We don't buy clothes every day, isn't it? I'll go and shower, put on my very big, beautiful dress, wear my shoes, do a bit of my makeup touch up, and appear outside. Does it mean I don't have problem? I maybe even what I'm going through, if I sit down and tell you, you will not even believe it. But if you base your thought process based on what you see, it's because everybody tries to look better or present something that is better, because you cannot just be vulnerable and open sometimes to personal things and all those things. So we gotta teach our young ones, we gotta train our children to be able to understand and also be able to know when you say someone is your mentor, what do you mean? What does it mean for someone to be a mentor? What does it mean for you to be saying that I look up to this person? Do they have the character trait that is required? What is their lifestyle? What do they stand for? How do they handle people? How, those things, how do they relate to this and that? How do they handle issues? You don't just wake up one day and begin to follow someone blindly. You must have known their story, know their background, know where they're coming from, and touch base with the reality, before you follow until you get depressed, and yet you are supposed to be making your life better, investing in yourself, focusing on what is important for you at every particular moment. If you're supposed to be going through levels of academic investment, do that academic investment knowing very well with time it will pay. You won't go there and refuse to be in class when a parent is taking all the investment and investing in you. Meanwhile, you are gallivanting in every city, moving up and down, you know, and you are supposed to be paying attention on your academic journey. Is it a job you've been given? When you go there, are you pursuing people, or are you pursuing the job that you've been given? Are you giving it your all, and are you growing in it? Are you there to serve? Are you there for a selfish interest? So we begin to teach on a wider mind frame, on a wider platform, so that it is not just about you as a person, but it is a collective, mindset, and a collective responsibility, whereby you having to look at things not only from your own point of view, but me having to be able to look at my decisions, my choices, my behaviors, my manners, my interactions, my disposition, everything I'm doing. How is it affecting the other person? Is it adding value? How is this thing affecting another person? Because when you think like that, you will realize that your thought process, your decisions, and your choices will be thought through. Your actions will be thought through because you are not the only player. There are other people who are affected directly or indirectly. You begin to ask yourself, if I'm in school and I'm not paying attention, how will this affect the person that is investing in terms of school fees, who is sacrificing so that I can be better? How will it affect them when they realize that they appear on a graduation ground and my name is not there and the lecturer is asking, I disappeared? You will think what will happen to your parent when they appear and there's nothing you've been doing. Meanwhile, you've been deceiving that you are in school and you are not in school. When you go into school and you are busy pursuing same-sex relationship because you are apparently either in a boys' school or in a girls' school, that action, that manners, that behavior, that character, how is it going to affect you as a person? How is it affecting others? And how will it affect you now in the society? How will it make the people that have brought you on this earth or are paying the price, how will it affect them? When they say this should not be done, what is the reason of giving that instruction? What is the reason behind it? When we think like that and we approach life from that particular perspective, we'll be able to be sensitive, we'll be keen, and we will not find these value systems and policies and rules, regulations that govern us something to be really struggling to do. You just do it. For when there is a way, there's a will. So I just wanted to summarize that particular season and just say that we can do better. And we can do better by beginning not to be defensive, but just tell ourselves the truth, evaluate, and begin to see what is it we can do. And you don't need to do this work alone. We are here to work with you at Chinch Empire Center. We are here to just interact and because it is not a one-man solo guitar thing. It is a collective responsibility. It has a community approach, so that we may be able to affect many people, because even these kids, ourselves, our institutions, our organizations, our nation, none exist independently as a one person, as an island. We have to be moving together, and we are better together. So leave me your comment. Let me hear your thought process, your perspective, your feedback. Either way, and we work together. Thank you. God bless.